各位觀眾，大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。加拿大係 G7 7大工業國之中唯一尚未建立全國學校用餐計劃嘅國家。卑詩省嘅公立學校系統目前亦都尚未全面推行相關嘅制度。近年嚟卑詩省政府同聯邦政府就逐步投入資金去推動校園嘅用餐計劃，希望俾更多學生喺校園可以食到一餐穩定而有營養嘅餐點。大溫地區各個校區目前嘅校園用餐計劃究竟進展成點？餐點係點樣滿足到學生嘅營養需求？而每一日數以千計嘅餐點又係點樣準時送到去各間學校嘅呢？我哋一齊嚟睇睇。
I'm really excited and I'm also very proud that as part of Budget 2023,
2023年4月，卑詩省府宣布推出餵養未來一代 Feeding Futures 計劃，並且喺未來嘅3年投入2億1400萬元，用於支持全省各校區建立或者係擴展本地校園膳食計劃。
We're putting $1 billion forward to be sent out to provinces and territories.
2024年嘅4月，聯邦政府宣布推出新嘅全國學校餐飲計劃，承諾5年之內向各省同埋特區政府撥款10億元。
We're making the national school food program permanent to help ensure that all kids have the nutrition they need at school.
2025年10月，聯邦政府宣布將全國學校膳食計劃永久化。從2029至到30年嘅財政年度開始，該計劃每年將獲得2億1660萬元嘅永久年度資金。喺一連串政府資金同政策推動之下，大溫地區學校嘅膳食保障目前實際嘅情況又係點呢？
We made chickpea salad. I made the chickpea salad, and we made falafel and the thing at the salad bar. And I forgot what that's called, but we also made that. We have a veggie donair. It contains brown rice, quinoa, spinach, with tzatziki, hummus, pickles, hot sauce, and tabbouleh. Welcome to Heaven's Kitchen.
呢一度係溫哥華 Law Roberts 小學嘅 Lunch Lab 校園膳食計劃，負責營運該計劃嘅 Growing Chef 機構項目主管 Dana Lim 表示，呢一項計劃喺溫哥華校區多間唔同嘅中小學推行，佢哋將廚房直接搬入去學校，亦都將學生帶入廚房。
So Lunch Lab, the L in lab stands for learn, the A stands for access, and the B stands for bridging to community. So that was how it was founded. And what we're trying to address is all those things: access to food, access for kids to hot, tasty food made by their peers, and as well as teaching the student chefs.
Lunch Lab 唔單止提供餐飲，亦都被視為係一種飲食教育同社交學習嘅空間。
I think it's important for students to have access to hot, healthy foods at the lunchroom because they need that energy and that good food to keep them going. It's good fuel for them. Another big part of it is that it develops positive and very good attitudes towards eating food and sharing food and eating food as a community. So these aspects of the Lunch Lab program really help to form these students as they grow older and mature and move out throughout life. Yeah.
I definitely liked doing it with my friends. It was really very, very fun because we've never experienced anything like this before. And also seeing all that happy, smiley faces when we give them the food.
So what happens in Lunch Lab is it's community tables. So they are all sitting together. We joke that one of the benefits of Lunch Lab is the positive peer pressure. We have kids here that eat massive amounts of kale that they wouldn't necessarily eat at home, but all their friends are eating massive amounts of kale or trying something new. So that positive peer pressure is definitely something that is a byproduct of being able to eat together and as a community.
Dana Lim 表示 ，Lunch Lab 計劃由3級政府以及社區捐款共同支持，未來希望將計劃推廣至更加多嘅社區同埋學校。
Our program is a for the eaters is we use a pay what you can model. So we ask parents and families that can pay to pay $6 per meal per kid. But it's a sliding scale. So there's a no questions asked, full subsidy, partial subsidy. And they just come and eat. There's no stigma to it. The kids, no one knows, basically. They all line up the same and they all come in and eat.
If you go to lunch labs, they always have a vegetarian option along with a protein that is usually a meat. And so there's that level of education being shared among the students.
溫哥華教育局主席 Victoria Young 表示 ，Lunch Lab 係校區校園膳食計劃嘅一部分。而校區一直持續喺多方面努力，確保學生能夠獲得穩定而且有保障嘅校園用餐服務。
Currently, we have cafeterias in all of our secondary schools except for one, where they provide hot lunches and lunches available to students each day. We also have commissary kitchens at 2 of our locations, which then also make up to and provide across the district 4,500 meals to our students.
This is one of 2 of our commissary kitchens. So we have another commissary kitchens that produce another 1,000 meals per day. Here we do the individual hot pack, and the individual hot pack is for the schools that don't necessarily have a kitchen where they can produce meals for their school. So here the food is produced, packed the day before. It then gets chilled overnight, and first thing in the morning it gets pulled out, and then we reheat, pack and deliver to the schools. Every school receives their lunch by 11:30 a.m. Hot, ready to eat. The cold part of the meal that the students receive. So what we have is let's just take that off. We have a little fruit portion, and then every student also receives a cup of milk. These are for any schools over 10, and any school under 10 will receive a thermal bag, and that goes out with each of our meals. So what we have here, when the meals are packed, they come into our Cambros, and each school is labeled. So these will then get transferred onto the truck.
溫哥華教育局主席 Victoria Young 表示，受惠於3級政府嘅資金投入，校園膳食計劃得以為有需要嘅學生提供免費餐飲，減輕咗家庭負擔。
So we currently have an app called Lunch Smart in our district, and it's much like a Starbucks card where it's loaded with funds, and so students can use it as needed. But the beautiful part about that is it offers a dignified way for students to get food without other students knowing who has paid in full, who has paid partial, or who is getting a free meal.
而喺素里校區，隨住各級政府嘅資金到位，校園膳食服務嘅涵蓋範圍亦都持續擴大。
And here I'm holding one of the favorites, which is macaroni and cheese. We produce 2,000 of frozen meals on a weekly basis for the students who require additional meals after hours. And we do 2 or 3 different flavors according to what feedback we get from the students.
Andrea Monterio 表示，公司現時參與素里及列治文校區嘅多項校園膳食計劃，透過同校區合作，為有需要嘅學生提供穩定而且持續嘅餐飲支援。
We prepare the meals following the Canadian Food Guide, which includes a protein, a vegetable or fruit, and a balanced carbohydrate. It's really important that we make sure that the food is nutritious as well as appealing, because if the students do not like what they see, they're most likely not going to eat it. We also follow surveys. We hand out surveys, and we make sure that we get the feedback and we adjust accordingly so that we make sure that the students are able to eat what they like and they're provided the balanced nutrition that they need.
素里教育局主席 Gary Timuschak 表示，目前校區午餐服務已經涵蓋所有中學以及半數嘅小學，受惠學生人數持續增加，亦都俾更多有需要嘅學生能夠喺校園獲得穩定嘅餐飲支援。
We've significantly expanded the program, and we've got partners who are assisting us in providing those hot lunches, because there's a logistics issue for sure. We don't have kitchens in all of our schools, 135 sites, we just don't. And so therefore, to be able to provide a hot lunch was a bit of a challenge. So when you talk about plans for the future, I think the plans were initiated a couple of years ago, and we've been working to fulfill those plans over the last couple of years or so. And we're getting very close to the end of that sort of planning process, and being able to have a centralized area to make the hot lunches, and then have those logistics in place to get the lunches to where they need to be and still be hot or warm at the very least. So
Gary Timostra 表示，隨住校園膳食計劃持續擴展，素里校區嘅供餐模式亦都變得更多元化。
We've also implemented in about 30 schools throughout the district our help yourself fridges. And these are really significant and cool, I think. I've seen them in a number of schools already. And it's where perhaps you might find yogurt or fresh fruit in a fridge, and it's available for kids to help themselves. So if they find that they've got, the growlies in the tummy at 10:30 in the morning and they need to go grab something, they're welcome to go help themselves in that fridge and get a yogurt or a piece of fruit or maybe some cheese or something along those lines to help them get through the day. As time evolves, we're continuing to expand our nutritional programs overall, which includes lunch, but it also includes snacks. I should also mention too, we have partnered with some community groups, just a small scale, not large, but to be able to provide some food hampers for some families who are very much in need and might need that extra boost to get through the weekend. So on Friday afternoons in some of our schools where this is a need, we're able to distribute those kinds of hampers to those families who are in need, just to kind of get them through the weekend.
卑詩教育及兒童保育廳長 Lisa Bear 畢麗莎表示，目前省內嘅校園膳食計劃涵蓋率相當廣泛，幾乎已經成為咗公立學校日常運作嘅一部分。
So we have 90% of our schools who are operating lunch, breakfast, and snack programs. 90% of our public schools. That's a significant number. In fact, the remaining 10% are usually, it's like an alternative school or just not a regular K-12 type school. Virtually every single K-12 school in the province is operating a food program for their students. The federal government, as you said, did augment our program through their national food program. So an additional $39 million that are distributed to districts alongside, and that's over 3 years, the $39 million. And that's in addition to the $71.5 million that we do annually, every single year for districts.
咁從一頓熱午餐到小朋友點樣認識食物、分享文化同建立飲食習慣，校園供餐咧喺唔少學校已經唔單止係填飽個肚咁簡單啦。咁但係隨住計劃逐步咁擴展，另一個現實嘅問題亦都開始浮現。咁就係呢一套系統嘅背後，人力、設備同資金能唔能夠長期支撐呢？下一節翻嚟，我哋會繼續去了解校園普及熱午餐背後嘅挑戰。翻嚟節目時間，卑詩省多個校區正係逐步擴大校園嘅用餐計劃，咁但係要俾更多嘅學生每日喺學校食到一餐熱午餐，背後涉及龐大嘅資金、人力同物流系統。咁從中央廚房到配送流程，到補助資格以及長期財政來源，各地仍在持續咁摸索緊。咁卑詩省嘅校園普及熱午餐計劃，距離真正全面普及，究竟仲有幾遠啊
？Vikram Singh 同 Shalini Mehta 3年之前帶住女兒移民加拿大，目前女兒喺列治文就讀小學。佢哋表示，校區尚未全面推行熱午餐計劃，大部分返學嘅日子仍然需要自行為小朋友準備午餐。
It takes time, like he said, we have to wake up at least by 6:30. At least I would say 6:15 or so. That's when we wake up. But on hot lunch days, we take it easy by 7:15, 7:30. It's a huge difference if you see. Yeah. Especially in winters, you see it's still dark and you have to wake up and start preparing things. This hot lunch becomes a huge relief, and I'd say it kind of also gives us time to spend, some more time to spend with each other in a more relaxed way, not like rushing.
對此，列治文教育局以書面回應指出，校區嘅免費熱午餐計劃自去年起開始試點，並已經分階段擴展至更多嘅學校。
Hot lunch for different schools is already an occasional thing, and so it's a couple of times a month, depending on the pack. It's often tied in with pack choices, and so this is the universal hot lunch is once a month. Sometimes in some schools it's staggered. So it's really just one day at a time. Overall, if it's just a couple of days a month, you're not really going to change how you make purchasing decisions or plan your regular routine, particularly with families that have a limited flexibility in how they can do that.
Vikram 夫婦表示，雖然全民熱午餐尚未全面普及，但係女兒所就讀嘅學校嘅家長委員會仍然會每2個星期提供一次訂餐服務。不過佢哋亦都提到，由家長主導嘅熱午餐計劃喺運作上同樣面對人手不足嘅挑戰。
I am part of the school pack, and we have a parent-organized hot lunch program. So in some schools they do it more regularly. For us, it's bi-weekly. So every second week we have a hot lunch program, and all of a lot of parents, we come together and help distribute the food and packets and everywhere in the classes. But since it's it's a parent program, everybody is so busy. It's very hard to find more volunteers. So instead of doing it more regularly, we had to cut down on the frequency.
佢亦都坦言喺呢啲少數唔使準備午餐嘅日子，生活會輕鬆唔少。
Like yesterday, it was hot lunch, so we woke up very relaxed, and my daughter did drawing. We were sitting here and listening to music.
He made pancakes, and
it was more like a weekend for us, sitting enjoying. She's drawing, and there was no tension, and it was very nice. I would like to have that more often in life. I can say that, yeah.
另一方面，亦都有家長對目前大溫地區公立中小學嘅熱午餐現況提出憂慮。佢哋指出，除咗校區提供嘅餐飲之外，唔少由家長委員會組織嘅付費熱午餐計劃，主要以籌款為目的。咁餐點品質同埋營養設計亦都因此受到關注。
We don't order hot lunch from the school system because our school uses Munch Lunch, and they use it also for fundraising. So they will take and the packs can add any amount they want to the food. So for example, if I don't know the exact numbers, but if they're getting a grilled cheese from the supplier for $3, they can sell it to kids for $6 to raise funds. So I do have picky kids, so I make their lunches for that reason, but also I don't support fundraising and commercializing my children's well-being and nutrition through programs like that. So that is a big reason that we don't use.
We shouldn't be compromising our kids' health to do school fundraisers. And right now, we typically use real junk food in school fundraisers. That shouldn't be happening, and it's not compliant with the food guidelines, which even say that we're not supposed to be using school fundraisers. And the job of PACS is really to advocate for kids' education and well-being. It's not really supposed to be to do fundraising. But I feel like sometimes the schools like to distract the parents with the need for fundraisers. We're so busy doing fundraisers that we don't have time to advocate for our kids, our children's education and well-being. And that's really what PACS should be focused on.
對此，卑詩教育及兒童保育廳長 Lisa Bear 畢麗莎就回應指，省府撥出嘅資金由各學校區嘅教育局負責落實執行，並且按各區實際需要進行調配。
We already do that in the Feeding Futures program. We take great care, every single district knows the makeup of their students, every single school knows the makeup of their students and is able to accommodate them. That's what's really great about the Feeding Futures program, is that by delivering the program and the money directly to districts can, are all unique. Every single school is unique. Every single student is unique. And so districts can really tailor that funding to meet the needs of their community and their local school population.
對此，數理學校局主席 Gary Timashak 坦言，雖然聯邦同省政府已經就校園膳食計劃提供專項嘅撥款，但係要實現全面普及，仍然需要時間同投入資金。
We are only going to spend the money we get. It's targeted funds, as I was mentioning. So when the funds are provided to us by the ministry, by the provincial government, by the federal government, they must be spent only on the feeding program, the food programs. If those values increase, of course, we'll accommodate to the best of our ability. But when you say, what are our plans always have been, and we're really grateful for the funds that we have available from government, senior levels of government, as well as community partners. Our goal has always been to make sure that kids are nutritionally satisfied so that their learning can be at the optimum level possible so that they can be successful in public education.
對此，溫哥華教育局主席 Victoria Yong 表示認同。
The cost of a universal food program, we've been discussing over the last few years. There are major gaps, so we don't have access to a cafeteria in all of our schools, and we don't have commissary kitchens to be able to provide to every single student in our district. So what that would look like would be a lot of capital costs to update equipment. It would be a slow and gradual influx of capital to be able to do that, and that's the end goal. And so we'll keep fighting for extra funding from the province and from the federal government to and the city. We know the city knows that there are hungry kids in our district, and so they too have put some money towards our food program. But the end goal is to have all levels of government pitch in to be able to provide a universal food program at Vancouver schools.
另一方面，亦都有家長指出，雖然各級政府已經為校園餐飲計劃投入資金，但係點樣確保資源分配公平、有效運用，仍然係另一個需要面對嘅問題。
And it depends on the school by school, and I would imagine the federal and provincial governments are looking at a huge range of what districts have and approaches. The one set of questions was related to meal cards and what the eligibility requirements are for that, and to make sure it's consistent and fair. Another concern that's been raised is that these programs sometimes can be easy to start, but ever taking them back could be quite challenging if a family makes life choices or whatever that becomes this becomes part of their assumptions for how they manage feeding their kids. It would be quite challenging to change it after that.
針對家長以及各校區提出嘅關注，卑詩教育及兒童保育廳長畢麗莎作出回應。
Well, we know how important it is to ensure that kids are well fed and well cared for so that they have the ability to learn in schools. And we know that families are facing pressures around rising costs all over the province, which is why our Feeding Future program is so important. We provide $71.5 million annually to districts in every corner of this province to operate breakfast, lunch, snack, or a combination of programs for students in their schools, and it's really making a difference. So this was a project that we've been working on with the school district since last year. This is not new. We've been working on this for months and months and months since the district identified the program. So we have been working hand in hand all throughout and have been reviewing the funding request all throughout. The district was able to provide its final numbers to us a couple of weeks ago, but we had already done all the groundwork ahead of time, and so we were able to take those numbers to verify and review them, make sure that we do our due diligence and provide the funding to the district. This is good news for everyone.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間就差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。我哋嘅電郵地址係 mag26@fairchildtv.com。咁如果觀眾咧想上網重溫今集嘅節目，亦都可以上到去我哋嘅網站3個W fairchildtv.com 點擊節目重溫一欄就可以睇得返㗎啦。下星期同一時間再同大家見面，晚安。